Happy Friday, gang. It's your boy Slater. It's your daily content review in way longer than 2 minutes. So I figure, you know what? I can't leave you guys for 3 days with no content, sitting there twiddling your thumbs, throwing controllers, breaking things, playing foot champs, all right? I had to give you guys something at least. And I figure, you know what? Before I leave for my travel, I got to get a video out. So that's what we're going to do here today. And thank goodness I waited, because this might be the most content we've seen from EA on a one-day basis, and it's awesome. So let me dive into it really quick. I'm sure there'll be some people that aren't interested in the team, or maybe don't think it's as good as the first team. I think there's some really great players in the first team. We're talking about Rulebreaker's Team 2, which is out. It's only in packs for 3 days and 22 hours, which is not a long time at all. When you really break it down. So it's kind of interesting. This is going to be, we're not going to really be around, at least on my account, to help out and get some of these players, but hopefully you guys are going to have the ability. If you did save your packs, great. But since these guys are in packs for such a limited period of time, and most people don't wait to save their packs, most people open them, there's going to be a really thin, number of these cards on the market. So I feel like these cards will have like a significantly higher value than some of the first team, even though some of the cards maybe aren't as desirable. But anyways, let's dive into the content that came out today. So first and foremost, we had Inaki Williams, right, that came out. It was a player pick. You complete the SBC. Really cool content from EA, where they essentially were like, okay, you can take the pacey, or they're both pacey, the one with more dribbling or the one with more shooting. Well, they've done it again with Kareem Bellarabi. He's 2 sets. We'll dive into every single one of the cards a little bit deeper. We're going to switch over to the comp and check out Footbin. But once again, 84 overall team, 1 team of the week. Get a mixed players pack, and 85 overall team, 1 team of the week. You get a jumbo premium gold pack, okay? Not super expensive, but it is pricey in a way. Kareem Bellarabi in this game is actually kind of an interesting card. I've played against him a couple different times, and he's been really, really good when I've played against him. So there could be a version of this that's really sweet. We'll kind of dive into that a little bit here later. There's like a Kareem Puff SBC for like a Tifa or something. I'm not really going to waste my time on that. Let's go to objectives. We have a new team objective, so we'll knock this out really quick. If you guys have been completing these, I'm not sure anyone has. I don't know if anybody from our community has been completing these. Now we have vampires versus werewolves, these like team objectives. So once again, you can compete in these. There's just not really a lot of interest. I mean, what are you getting? You're not getting anything crazy. I just don't know if this is really good content compared to some of the other options you have in this game. So if you guys do want to go ahead and complete these, obviously go ahead. If you feel like you just have time on the game to do whatever, then feel free to go for it. If you want a new Tifo, whatever it is. But nothing too earth-shattering there. The really good content is right here, and I'm going to dive into this really quick. So first of all, we have a League One league player. So we saw from Footwatch this concept card, right, that we now see Malayan. His card looks really, really solid, really balanced. 87 dribbling, 86 passing, 84 shooting, 84 pace, right? There's a lot of great stuff here. What you'll notice about this objective is there isn't a time constraint on it, at least as of right now, which makes you believe that you have forever to complete this, which is great, right? Because when you look at it, you think, okay, win 15 matches using only League One players in the starting 11 and this foot friendly, that takes a lot of time, right? This is a very hard card to grind for. But the positive is that you have what looks like forever to get it, right? So there's not a time constraint. You could do this at your leisure. Maybe as you start to get more League One players, this makes more sense to go after. And you get some packs back in return, which I think is great. This is very cool. The card looks sleek. The card itself statistically looks solid, right? And I think it's really cool that you can have basically an objective player that you can grind towards in these new, live foot friendly modes that people are playing all the time that has no time constraint. So if you want to get this done, go ahead. You don't want to get it done, no worries. And you might just organically over time start to do this through other challenges, stuff like that too. One really awesome thing that came out, now granted he does expire in 3 days and 23 hours, is Akan Fenwa's Rulebreaker card. Akan Fenwa is as pivotal to Ultimate Team as any other silver or bronze card that has ever existed in Ultimate Team. He's more famous than anybody I know that is maybe not the best footballer. He's just a player that is beloved by so many people. And he now gets a card with 81 pace, 80 shooting. He's English, so he's linkable, right? He's in the championship league, which is great. And he still has those crazy physical stats, 74 dribbling. The card looks really cool. It's just a really cool card. This is what FIFA's all about, right? This is about using cards that aren't, the Neymars, the Messis, and the Ronaldos of the world, or the Mbappes. This is about, I have fun players in my team. I'm enjoying use. I mean, imagine rolling down in Weekend League and scoring a brace or being an opponent with an Akan Fenwa, right? I mean, that is really, really cool. And I love this concept from EA. They've been doing it with the Silver Lounge, giving us all these Silver Team of the Weeks. We on the RTG, needing a first owner silver team. This is brilliant. We will have to complete this when I get back from travel, 100%. This is like a coveted card, I think, in a lot of different ways. I think this is a card that everybody in our community should be chasing. I don't like the time constraints they've had on it because a lot of people will play Weekend League, so it's a little bit difficult to mix in these live foot friendlies, but you know what? You got to do it when you got to do it, so it is what it is. Very easy to grind. Play 3 games with at least 1 Liverpool player in your starting squad. Simple, right? Score 2 headers in the same no boundaries thing. Simple. Score 3 goals in the using EFL Championship players. Simple, right? I mean, this is some pretty easy stuff. And score in 2 separate wins using players at 81 physical. So it's a very straightforward objective that you can grind really easily. Like, this is what FIFA should be. I think this is the type of content that I think can make this game so cool, right? You have people that will be spending time on this game, not sweating it up in rivals, right? Not worrying about the craziness, being, you know what, I really want to get Akan Fenwa's Rulebreaker card in my team. And that is what FIFA should be. I absolutely love this from EA. They deserve credit when credit is due. The player pick, Bellarabi, we had the Inaki Williams last week, the Silver Lounge stuff, this Akan Fenwa. This is great content. This is great content. This is what makes this game fun. And it allows you to kind of remove yourself a little bit from the non-stop competitive aspect of FIFA. Now let's transfer over to the comp. There's going to be a little transition slide here, and I'm not going to edit it out, 1, because I don't know how to, and 2, because it's not a big deal, so just bear with me. We're going to go over to the comp, and we're going to check into some players specifically, okay? So we obviously looked at the Kareem Bellarabi SBC already. There's no prices out yet. I was hoping there might be. We'll refresh it really quick. I don't think there's going to be a price just yet. Oh, no, there is. Okay, so we have he's right around 100K, just the same as Inaki Williams. People are running a lot of Bundesliga size this year. I think you see people that are packing Bayern players left, right, and center. Dortmund players are very usable in this game. Bellarabi's a usable player in this game, and especially if you did Mukiele, right? Now you have a right back, right mid pairing. There's a very usable aspect of Kareem Bellarabi. So let's go look at the 2 versions, right? The first version that we're going to look at is the one that's boosted his dribbling. So he has immaculate dribbling stats, right? He has 95 agility, 86 balance, 91 reactions, 93 ball control, 95 dribbling, 86 composure. Phenomenal. Decent enough passing that I don't think you need to touch it. The long passing is a little bit left to be desired, but it's decent enough. And the shooting is very bad. Very bad. And I think that the one thing you're trying to figure out is, how do you want to use this Bellarabi? If you're using him as like just a creative player that you don't expect to finish a lot, then I think the dribbling version works really well. You could once again just throw a Hunter on him. Incredible pace, solid shooting, right? He'll finish your easy chances. He might miss some more difficult chances here and there, but a decent card. He, once again, as a reminder, he's 4-star, 3-star, and I don't think he has anything too crazy. He has flaring outside the foot shot trait and launch shock taker. So I think this card is good. I think this card's good. I use Inaki Williams. I think he's a really good card. For 100K, this is not a bad value SBC. All right, let's go check out the shooting one. So here this is a little bit interesting the way they did this, right? They gave it a little bit more of a balance. His other card has 80 shooting, 93 dribbling. This one has a little bit more of a balance between the two. So now he has 88 dribbling, 80 balance, 84 reactions, 86 ball control, 88 dribbling, 80 composure, which I think are really, really good stats, right? I think those are good enough stats. And once again, if you put a Hunter on this card, now he has top tier pace, incredible shooting stats, and still really, really good dribbling stats. So for me, I think for the first time ever, I would maybe lean towards this version of this card. He would still be able, with those dribbling stats, to compete in the game, and those shooting stats are phenomenal. I'm sure there's other chem styles you can maybe explore, but I don't have all the time to kind of go through every single chem style of Bellarabi, but I do think that this is a very, very usable card. I personally would lean on this version. I think this version's probably the way I would go. His dribbling is good enough where it doesn't need to be, it's not going to be incredible, and although this game's very predicated on dribbling, that's good enough dribbling to get by in this game at the end of the day. And those shooting and pace stats are truly phenomenal. I don't know what else I would run on him. I mean, a Hawk gives him that physical boost, which is nice, but I don't know if he desperately needs that at all. His aggression and strength are already pretty decent, to be fair. And you could do a finisher if you wanted to say, okay, I don't mind his pace being like this. Let's get that agility and that balance up. Let's get that dribbling max out and some great shooting stats. So there's a couple different options, but I would lean towards this version of Bellarabi, okay? Now we dive into the actual Rule Breakers team. So Rule Breakers Team 2 has officially come out, which is great. We have a bunch of different cards. We'll start with Ike Opara. Opara is a FIFA legend as well, right? You think of a card that has been used a billion different times in FIFA, even though it's not the most, famous card, right? He's just always had great stats. This card looks great. Dribbling stats are tremendous, right? His defending and physical could use a little bit of boost, but his acceleration and sprint speed are already top tier. You could just throw a Sentinel on him and walk away with an incredible defending card. If you wanted to even just get a little bit more aggressive in it, you could say, oh, you know what? I want to put an anchor on him, and he still has a spectacular card. This is a not easy to link card, but it's a great card in FIFA. If you somehow have, I'm almost trying to think, like maybe you could have, I don't know, Tyler Adams and Yedlin, and Pool. You could try and do some American thing if you want to do an American team. Great. If you have some MLS players, awesome. He's hard to link, but great in game, right? Easy as that. Now we have Alex Teixeira. Alex Teixeira has been an OP card in FIFA 21. He's used by a ton of people, and he gets a great card. That's why I think this team is actually better than it perceives to be, right? Where you're getting cards that are actually really, really cool in game. And although they're not like 90+ rated cards, they're good cards in game. Teixeira is very, very good in game. He's 4-star, 4-star. This version of him is incredibly balanced. 92 stamina, really, really solid dribbling stats, decent pace, right? They kind of dropped that a little bit, and then this great shooting stats. Once again, you throw a Hunter on this card, he's phenomenal. Incredible dribbling, incredible shooting, incredible pace, right? He has great stamina. His passing is good enough, right? He's got good enough passing. Linkable. There's so many Brazilian cards. You think of the Paulinho that just came out, right? The Anderson Talisca that's out. Teixeira. I mean, there's a lot of Brazilian cards, specifically in the Chinese Super League already, that you could have a hyperlink with. I'm sure Mbabu, if he's looking at this card, is probably crying. And then you think of all the different options that are in this game, just in Brazilian in general. And every year, FIFA gives so many special Brazilian and French cards. It's just the way that it is. This card has a ton of long-term linkability and a ton of long-term usability. I think this is a great card in the game. I'm actually really cool with EA for releasing this. Moving on, we have Hakan Çalhanoğlu, right? Really, really good player in real life. He's kind of resurrected his career from Milan. 4-star, weak foot, 3-star, or 4-star, 4-star. My apologies. 4-star, 4-star. Really, really solid looking card. He actually has, I figured he would have better dribbling than he does, but he has good enough dribbling. He has great shot power and long shots. Really, really solid pace. This card's actually usable in a lot of different ways. It's a little bit tough considering he's a Turkish player in the Serie A, and people don't run a lot of Serie A sides, but that's actually a good thing if you are, because it makes this card cheaper. He'll be cheaper than he probably should be just because he's not in the Prem, or I would even say the Bundesliga or La Liga, where a lot of teams are being built. So the Serie A is kind of being looked over, I think, a little bit, even though it has a lot of great players in it. Really, really good card. Once again, in terms of what to put on this card, there's a lot of different options. You could throw a Deadeye on him if you think his pace and stuff is already top tier enough to make him an incredible passer. Really, really solid shooting and great dribbling. Makes him like a very balanced cam type of card, right? You could put a Hawk on this card if you wanted to up his shooting and his pace and have his physical. I'm kind of a little bit curious on this card. I think that his dribbling is probably the stat that maybe needs the most help. And so maybe a marksman just makes him an incredible dribbler of the ball. There's a lot of different options you could do with this card. And I don't think this card's going to be really expensive once it hits the market. An 83 overall card will not have a lot of crazy value, especially a Turkish player in the Serie A. If you're running a Serie A side, I could see this card being a very, very good cam at an incredibly cheap cost, right? Moving forward, we have, I can't believe that this came out. I almost cried when I saw this. I've told you guys time and time again that Daniel Podence is a revelation, and it looks like EA have finally realized this man is a freak of nature. Prem, Portuguese, right? This is an incredibly linkable card. He's a tiny little lad. He's 4-star, 4-star. He's only 5'5". He's got phenomenal agility and balance. I feel like this card would feel so agile and smooth in game, right? His dribbling stats are pretty good. You could throw a Hunter on this card immediately. Incredible stats, right? You could throw a Hunter on this card. Incredible stats. There's a lot of different options I think you can do with this guy. I love Daniel Podence. If there's a chance that we can somehow pack this guy, I would be over the moon. He's one of my favorite players in real life to watch. I think he's such a spectacular, just fun player to watch. With a maestro, he has great passing and decent shooting stats and really, really top tier dribbling. Even a finisher, he has incredible shooting and incredible dribbling, right? But his pace is decent, but maybe you want to do that a little. There's a lot of different options for this card, right? You could even technically, honestly, put an engine on this card if you wanted to. His shooting isn't great, but if you're like, you know what, I want a pacey guy that can dribble and just create for me, this is an option too. This guy is great in real life. I love that he has a special card, and I love this, man. These are cards that EA don't target. You see, this is like, what I'm trying to say is that, yeah, you know, we didn't get a Rule Breakers, I don't know, what's like a card that gets a special every year? Marcelo or like a, I don't know. I mean, like, we didn't get the like craziest cards. There's not like a 90 plus rated wacky super OP card. But I like FIFA more when you use cards like this. When you're trying to get an Akan Fenwa, when you maybe use a Daniel Podence. That's what makes FIFA fun, right? We've said it before, make FIFA fun again. This is an option. This is a way to get us closer to that. Moving forward, we have Patrick Van Aanholt, who I think is a great card in game. On his face, already looks great. Like, this card by itself looks awesome. Really decent dribbling, really decent defending, physical stats, everything looks great. You could throw an anchor on him, walk away, really, really solid defender. You could, I mean, honestly, you could probably do like a Guardian if you want him to just have crazy dribbling stats. His pace is already good. This is a great card. This is a great card. I think he'll be really expensive because of how linkable he is, right? People that are running Van Dijk, Ake, right? Having a big-time left back in the Prem right now is a very valuable card. So I think this card will be, and a lot of people run Prem sides. So I think this card will be overpriced, right? I'm already seeing 300K. Like, this is going to be a very, very expensive card because of the lack of great left backs that are in the Prem and his linkability, right? If you're trying to do a hybrid and you even have De Jong in your team and you have Van Dijk, like, there's a lot. This card can kind of unlock a lot of links, which is great, and a really good card to add to the team. Moving forward, we have my boy Forza Juve, Juan Cuadrado, who gets a couple special cards every year. Really fun card again. Just a fun card. 5-star skiller, 3-star weak foot, pacey, decent shooting. That finishing is not good, so you probably can't even really work on that finishing to the point where you would basically be using him either as a pure right back or like a right wing back in a 3-5-2 to kind of just create the way people use Hakimi in this game, right? And I think this guy could 100% get the job done. You put an anchor on him, once again, really, really good defensive stats, right? You might already feel like his pace is good enough, so you throw a Guardian on him. Now he has incredible dribbling, defending. The physical stats are okay. Great pace. He has a little bit versatility. Not an incredible card, like not a god tier card in the game, but I think a card that has really good links if you're, once again, doing the Serie A stuff and you're trying to have either like a Delict backline, you have like a little bit of that Raja Nainggolan maybe in the midfield, Dybala, Papu Gomez, Lautaro Martinez. If you're using a Serie A side, this is a great addition to your team. And I think he'll come at a very cheap price, which is awesome. Moving forward, we have Jimenez, which is another really cool card. He looks like a great center back. I think it's going to be really fun for people to maybe not just use Eder Militao, Diego Carlos, Rafael Varane, or Sergio Ramos, right? Adding a new, different nation, different team center back to La Liga is a cool quality in this game. He looks fantastic. He has really, really good physical and defending stats already with decent pace. Once again, an anchor on this card. He looks amazing. If you really wanted to, you could put a shadow on this card. Now he has top tier defending and incredible pace. The biggest concern with him are these dribbling stats. That 43 balance, that 58 agility, those are concerns. If you don't feel like you can really rely on that, you could even throw a Guardian on him to make him a little bit better in those areas. But in the past, we've seen instances where defenders don't need to be the most agile or have crazy balance to be really good in game. I think this is a card that we're going to have to see people use to understand how good he is. He looks like he could be a boomer bust type of player. Moving forward, we have Big Rom, right? Rocco's probably shaking in his boots. Big Rom, the man who has cursed EA out for not giving him specials in the past, gets a special rule breaker card. He's 3-star, 4-star. Romelu Lukaku, his dribbling looks awesome. His shooting is okay. I think you would obviously put a Hunter on this card to give him pace, shooting, and good dribbling stats. Once again, he's a card where I think it all matters how he plays in game. He's a tank, and he might not move that fluidly. He might not be, it might say his 98 sprint speed and 91 acceleration, but he might feel like 70, right? I mean, that the problem with Big Rom is not what the card sets are going to say. It's going to be how he feels in game. Once again, another Serie A option, and Lautaro Martinez is already great in this game. Romelu Lukaku, Dries Mertens. I'm telling you, people are sleeping on the Serie A, and there's a ton of options in the Serie A. Every time I get a team in on stream from like the web app links and stuff, it's Prem or La Liga, and maybe some Bundesliga. But the Serie A is consistently slept on, and they're getting a lot of specials. This might be a league worth shifting your focus into, because I think that you can get really good players that aren't valued the same way that other players are in other leagues. Moving forward, we have Molto bene, Paul Pogba. Okay, ooh la la, what a good player. I love Paul Pogba. We have a Daniel Podin special. Okay, we have a Paul Pogba special. We have an Akan Fenwa special. Once the Dybala special comes out, I might cry. And we may never get any of these cards. Okay, we may never get them. I'm just happy that they're being recognized. All right, Paul Pogba gets a special every year. I know it's not crazy, but I just love Paul, and I'm glad to see he gets a special in game. 5-star, 4-star. He's already really, really, really awesome in game this year, and I think that he's a fun card to have. Now, the balance and agility is a little bit low, but he's almost been given like a great defending boost. So if you're willing to actually have this guy be he's medium high work rates, high attacking work rates. My apologies. But he's a card that has been given a really, really good defending boost in this game. And he actually has a lot of versatility in this game. If you said, I want his pace to be a lot better, right, you could do this. He becomes an incredibly balanced box-to-box and or DM in this game, right? They kind of dipped him on passing a little bit. You could even say, okay, I want his pace and his passing to be better. Now you have a card that's wildly balanced in game. From what I can tell, okay, Paul Pogba is going to be valued incredibly high. His card already is really good in game. I don't know if this card will be, and I'm a Paul Pogba fan saying this, I don't know if this card will be worth it. I think that this card is a good version of Paul, but there's better versions to potentially come down the road if they do one more promo of him. I'm sure he's great. 5-star, 4-star is really usable. French, Prem, right? He's incredibly linkable, and he's a loved player in the Ultimate Team game, or scene, I should say. But he looks really solid. He looks really, really solid, like just a purely good card in the game. I'm assuming he's going to have a wildly high price tag, and I'm not sure that he's worth overpaying for when his base card in the game is already really, really good. So maybe once this card is out of packs and his base card comes back in, that might be a card worth looking into. Next, we have Marco Reus, right? Bundesliga option again. Once again, there's a lot of different, they're adding different cards in the game to allow us to try different teams, which is great. Marco Reus looks really, really solid. Great dribbling, solid shoot. Once again, an incredibly balanced card, right? He has everything you need. You can actually use this card in a lot of different ways. You could honestly play him at striker if you wanted to. You put a hunter on this card, you can play him at striker. Genuinely. You can play him at camp. You can play him a million different places. You can put an engine on this card. And now he has great shooting, passing, and even great pace, great passing, great dribbling, right? This card has a lot of different options in game. You can even put a Maestro on him and say, you know what, I'm okay with his pace being a little bit lower, but I want to make sure that he's an incredible dribbler. He can even shoot a little bit outside the box and create if you're using him as a cam roll. Great card. Going to be expensive. He's 4-star, 4-star. Marco Reus is once again a beloved Ultimate Team player, but a cool player nonetheless. I like that this card's in game. Finally, we have Angel Di Maria. 5-star, 2-star, right? One of the knocks on him is always that 2-star weak foot. Feels like Angel gets a special card every single year, multiple versions, and he has another one here. Dribbling stats, shooting, and pace are all really solid. Even his passing is great. Once again, you can put a hunter on this card and walk away with a really, really good card. You could vary up and go with a Maestro and help. He already has really good pace, so you could say, I want a shot power and his passing and his dribbling to be better. You could put a finisher on him, and then he has really, really great agility and dribbling and shooting stats, right? I mean, now he looks like a freak. Once again, it's a really, really good card. With the way that finesses are in game this year, I would imagine getting Angel Di Maria at the top of the box, moving in on that left foot, he could bang a lot of goals for you this year and be a really, really good creator, in the game, which is great. So once again, there's the full review. I didn't want to make you guys not have at least something to watch that would be, our channel related while I was gone for a couple of days. It's our third ever YouTube video, and I hope you enjoyed it. And listen, guys, I know it's crazy for me to say, coming from me, don't get too caught up in Weekend League. All right, keep your composure. Don't get riled up. If you get the chance, go out, try to do something different than play Weekend League. Don't, EA asks a lot of you over the course of a weekend. They want you to play, 15 hours of their game every weekend. I mean, they really do with the time constraints on these objective players, with the, Weekend League needing 30 games in a couple of days. It's difficult to do. And so don't feel like you have to do it, right? If you don't get gold 2 this week, it's not going to kill your team forever, right? At the end of the day. If you enjoyed the video, obviously a like and comments are greatly appreciated. If you're new to the channel, a subscription is also appreciated as well. I appreciate all you guys for the support constantly on the channel. I hope you all have a tremendous weekend, and I'll catch you beauties on Monday. We'll return to the stream game. That means no content reviews Saturday and Sunday and Monday, as I'll be driving back from travel. But we will be back on stream Monday night, hit the ground running, complete objectives, and get this thing going for the first on RTG. Good luck in Weekend League. Keep your head, and I'll see you beauties later. Peace.